when you do vibraphone, remember now, vibraphone is to do Amazing Grace, but really thinking concert wind band. Now, I'm not just going to write. I'm going to stop every time I have an idea in my head myself frequently and try and explain my decisions to you. Hi, you are watching part 2 of the video today. If you have not seen the previous videos leading up to this one, they are in the link below. Please do have a look. I split it up in different videos in a series just because it will make it a little bit easier for you. I like what he's doing. I want to add more, and I want to do it a little bit louder. This is slow enough to play with 2 fingers, which means you can do this. I love the blend. I'm gonna remember now. Every note a glockenspiel plays rings for what feels like 10 minutes. So don't do too many things because the notes might clash. In this case, it won't clash, but sometimes it's like you hear all of them together. You can get away with it, but don't get too busy in a glockenspiel, but you'll hear a difference. Okay, it's a very new day. I couldn't finish the video last time. Been a few days since I could continue with this arrangement, so I hope I can remember what I was trying to do. That's why we do sketching. It will help. Clearly that oboe needs to come down, so but it's a little empty to my taste. Okay, now we don't want to start here. It's actually the first time we introduced the third. Much of this extra piano. I'm at my first pitch, so let's get the fifth in there. Well, not quite yet. This one's full of chords, it's all sustain. Just want to try this, but I think it might be a solution. I use the same dynamics as the other ones on top of it. Okay, let's just go back just a little bit. Oh, can't do that. Okay, I can start there, I think. Clearly there will be, I can see where I was going with this. This bar is going to grow a lot. So I probably will need to do is shorten this so that I can have, you need the musicians to breathe. Now this is an important one. I'm having notes in front of me. Like guys on YouTube do this. They give you this and they play in and you're looking at, this is good for a guy that's trying to write a virtual orchestra or a virtual band for something like the internet. I'm showing you how to write notes because what I'm writing for is not the computer to play. What I'm writing for is to print parts in the score and give it to a conductor and a full band to play. And I'm teaching you how to write for between humans are going to play this. It's a different approach and this is the real one. This is how it works. We're working on music. You'll very, very, very rarely find me playing in something. I do sometimes, but I write specifically what I want because this works better. Right, so what I'm saying here is euphonium, he's going to have staggered breathing, but now I want him to do a crescendo on this note, so he's going to have to really breathe to do this. So give him the A flat, please. And there will be a lot of things happening here. So let's just start at one. Now, when you do rolls on timpani, the old school method 100 years ago was you would write the note and you would write the till, TR with a line. 100% correct. If you do that, any timpani, any professional timpani player in the world will understand that. It is single rolls. When you do a proper timpani player, do single rolls. They don't do double stroke rolls like you do on a snare drum, in a military setup. It's not wrong. The modern way to write, just write the 3 lines the same way you would do for any other percussion instrument. Because these guys tend to now play all percussion. They're not necessarily specialists anymore, not that much. So thank you very much, Dorico. I'm learning. So the dynamics of this, you're gonna have to start soft with the big crescendo to what's probably gonna be a fortissimo. The fortissimo, I understand, will run over as soon as I put the next note, which we can do. It's not wrong to actually tie it. It's not wrong to actually leave it. I like to tie it because it tells it that we play. This roll goes all the way up to the beat. I'm even going to, for a player, with an accent there. But you see, I didn't tie it like a long note because Dorico thinks it's a long note the moment you tie it. So I used the slur sign to tie it in this case. And very similar things are going to happen all over, but we'll see how and where. Literally going to do the very same thing I did with the timpani. So I don't know if I can do this. Will it pick up with it's a drum now? Okay, so bass drum is doing it. So cymbals is doing it. I'm not sure piano is going to be enough. You might have to start pianissimo or softer even. Definitely need more low brass to help me make this happen. Okay, so that's going to have an accent. So low brass can start nice and soft. They can start really soft. So I'm not even going to look at the nicest sound on a soft volume. So I'm doing it on purpose like this. Okay, so I'm copying this first before I start. I'm using all of them on a low note because I need that low note to really grow, but together in a section of low brass to help me. All of that's going to have accents. All of that's going to be Dorico. This thing I do like that I can do dynamics in a lot of places together, which I could not do in finale. Forward thinking. Thank you. Someone can Dorico can show me a better way to do this. I'm doing it this way because it's the only way I can get a crescendo not to start at the beginning of the note and start where I actually want it to start. But it's silly that I have to do it this way. So the low note is an F flat. F flat is E. So actually it would be good if they don't have to play because they just had a long crescendo. They need to breathe. Let's give them chance to breathe. So it's gonna be that's what the fifth trumpet is doing. So it's a perfect range for horns. So I'm going to do a similar thing, but now I have to open up. Let's see if I can reach 4 horns. Okay, so fifth trumpet is playing concert F. Okay, so we're just going to double it in octaves. No, we can't. Let's lock this note, otherwise Dorico does something funny. Thank you, Dorico. All of that will have the same accents. Maybe if I can see what I'm doing here. Now, the tuba, not something I thought that this is going to be nice and from fortissimo, please. Let's talk tuba quickly. This particular case, I'm going to let it fly, but because I really want everyone to go for the low A flat in this particular case because I really need big sound. Almost said something else. Big sound at the bottom. Usually when I go lower than this low B flat on a tuba, can you see where my mouse is moving? I would split it in octaves so that the smaller tubas, the E flat tubas, can decide, now I'm up for a higher one, and then the double B flat and a C tuba go for a lower one. They usually figure it out themselves how to split. But in this particular case, I want the low A flat, so I give them no choice. I'm like, breathe and do it, bro. This is how it's going to happen. I'm writing a lot now without listening because I know in my head what I'm hearing. Okay, so I'm going to take euphonium. Euphonium, it's got so many colors. And the thing about the euphonium is it's the closest low brass instrument to a French horn. In fact, and a lot of times they can play in absolute unison and work together, or even in octaves if it have to be. Because the euphonium below, an octave below, on concert now, below a horn, is just a lower horn because it's got the same beautiful mellow sound That's the big difference between a phonium and a tenor trombone that have the exact same pitch, but because there's many more turns in the pipes and the way the bell is shaped, it's thicker from the bottom. A trombone is thin, and in the end it opens up. Your phonium is much bigger, it's more built like a mini tuba, so it's a more mellow instrument and it works beautifully for your phonium. So I'm gonna let my phonemes work with the horns. So that's why you see what I'm doing. I'm copying that part straight in there in concert. I believe the guy will have time to breathe if I do it this way, but they will surely quickly figure it out. Because he will breathe between that A flat and F flat if he needs to. So this line of the phoneme is supporting horn 4 there. Because it's low and I want a strong sound. Okay, the trombones for the first bar, I'm going to leave with the tuba and the timp and a lot of things. Ooh, the timp must actually come in and roll again, maybe. We'll see what we do. But on the second bar immediately, I need to strengthen that because, oh, I see, now that flat trumpet is way too high because it's copying the second trumpet. Obviously, this was sketching. Okay, so only that note's going to go up. Oh, let's just go to concert pitch, just find the mistake. I make concert pitch. Nothing wrong. Oh, what's this person doing here? This guy should have looked by now. Sorry, that might be it. Although that was pretty soft. It's perfectly in range. Want him to go down. So we're only focusing on brass so far. That B flat is physically on the instrument in range for a baritone saxophone. It's the last note you can play, but it is risky to play just below a C. Now it is loud. I might get away with it in a professional player, but I'm not going to risk it. So I have to take that up, unfortunately. It's going immediately, it's different, but yeah. And let's go to the bass clarinet. That can also go to the bass clarinet. It says it's out of range. D flat will be E flat. Okay, yes. On your standard, put this bass clarinet, your standard bass clarinet student model, the lowest note would be the E, the same as a clarinet. Many professional models would give you the option to go E flat, D flat. The ones I work with for the last few years all could go down to a C. I believe there's one that go down to a B as well. Stand corrected. Please correct me in the comments. So this E flat on most professional bass clarinets would be possible, but because it's out of the standard range, what you do is you do this, you just go just like both. So the professional player, because they love the sound, would understand, okay, this is below the normal range. He would go to the lower E flat if it's in his range. But you give it to the student that doesn't have that, immediately just go away. So you give him the option. And they can go use little small notes and put them in brackets and all of that. In the case of a bass clarinet, really, so this is, they will understand. They understand their own language better than we do. So the first bar, I don't want the saxophones to follow that line like the horns did, because I want the high range of the horns here, but this I could. It's from there on, I'm going to go lower. The trombones have not been written yet, so this will probably be some kind of trombone. Stopping myself here. We're going to do something different with the saxophones here. I need more colors and I need more movement. Okay, let's go in there a little. So just to remind you, so the brass are doing this. Now, there's not a lot happening here. Ooh. Yes, please. Yes, please. Sorry, I just heard something in my head. Important little lesson here. It's a little golden pebble. It is very, very thoughtful. Think about music. It moves all the time. I mean, a guy like Hans Zimmer and John Williams, these two guys, comes up, Jerry Goldsmith, are extremely good at almost never writing two bars at the same dynamic level, because they're different tone colors in different dynamic levels. And I immediately, no, this is not just going to be a long note that's sustained and strong all the time. So let me show you what I'm thinking. I'm just going to write notes again to cheat Dorico into giving me exactly what I want. So I want from there, thank you, from there, for those three notes coming down a little, and then on these four notes, the next one, we crescendo again. This I'm going to want all the way through, all the instruments holding this. I haven't played it to you yet. See if you can hear. Can you imagine what this is going to do? I'm not doing it with the bass. I believe this is going to work. Okay. Let's just go to concert pitch to make it easier. Now remember, when I write for alto saxophone in concert pitch, I can do this because I know what I'm doing. The note I'm writing is a major 6, lower than what it's going to be written. So this E flat is a middle C written. Right. It's not out of range. It's in a beautiful range actually for the. I don't want to have all my first instruments, first trumpet, first sax, first clarinet, first flute, first trombone, first everything on the same line because your first players, one, they're probably your strongest players in each section. Two, if they're playing the highest notes, naturally they're already louder by ear than the other guys. So I'm not going to let my first alto saxophone do what my first horn and my first trumpet is already doing. It's going to get too strong. So I'm going to the second one now. Okay, I'm going to copy the third tenor saxophone as is for the tenor saxophone in this case, because I don't want this thing I'm doing to go too low. All of that, yeah, all of that will get accents. All of those will get slurred. Let's see if this works. Nope. Always write the exact articulation the way you want. Okay, I'm not listening back to this. It's playing in my head. It's just the point, but knowing you're staying within the chord and you've got a certain idea, I trust this will work. Again, like from this, now you'll see when I put it in transposed pitch. Remember now, it looks low. Tenor saxophone is a octave plus a major second up and major ninth up. So if I go transposed pitch, perfectly in range. In fact, it's in the best part of the range. Okay, so with the brass giving me a breathing space going up and down, this should work very nicely. Soprano sax. Okay, let's just hear what I have here. Not really necessary. I know what I have. Of course, the trumpets are doing. Again, I'm not going to let him copy the first trumpet, or we can help the second trumpet. It's no problem there. I talk about this in one of my tutorials. Get an idea, stick to that an idea, make the idea work all the way through. Don't get 17 different ideas in the same two bars. Then you hear nothing. Show you transposed pitch, okay? I might just do something completely different with all the reeds, because this is strong, rather strong already. Okay. So I need this. Just fill up the low brass. I need all the low brass with the tuba, bad. All the low brass with the horns, bad. You want to now fill in the tenor gap properly, nice and wide. So bass trombone, it can really go down all the way, but it doesn't need to in this case. So I've started the tubas will do their own thing there. Did I give it an accent? No. Can I make that run through? In fact, in a big way. Compare what I'm doing here with the tuba. So staying in a lowish range for the bass trombone. Bring that down. I'm gonna literally do the same thing. My first trombones, first and second trombones, I want to spread. So let's look at what the trumpets are doing. So if I have my first trombone just below this is ideal. So copying the first trumpet would be. Okay, so for the sake of time, the second one can come here, please. Thank you. Not a problem copying it like this. You want all the voices to be equally heard. So the trumpets are already helping each other in octaves. You see first trumpet, third trumpet. It's already there. And the horn is have the melody will be there. I mean, one trumpet only can get it through. So this will work nice. Okay, so I've got the build up getting nice and strong. I'm not writing for bass guitar yet. I put this bass guitar in just for in case, but if this piece stays too classical and there's enough bass, I have tuba barrier and all the low reeds. Might not need it. Then it's an afterthought. Then I write it in for the band that has it and you're doing a concert. There will be more embellishment here. Okay. I think I need to listen to hear what's missing or what needs to be get stronger here. I'm not going to go from the top, but I have a certain idea. I just need to start from here. Not even that. Something missing. Okay, saxophones needs help. This entry was too big for me. Okay, first of all, that wasn't in the right place, but I'm going to change this to a pianissimo. I'll change that to a pianissimo. I tried to change that to a pianissimo. Let's do that again. Thank you. Of course, this folder must not be too big. I can get away with that. Oh, okay, see now, again, I think that needs to be. Why am I cutting it loose? So that you can breathe. Take a new breath. For the crescendo, you need a lot of air, especially if you want a fortissimo straight after. You don't want him to breathe on this bar line between bar 8 and 9. Okay, check out this trick now. I cannot ask the baritone saxophone to come in on the first beat on pianissimo, but while the crescendo is going, I can do anything. So it's a low A flat, which is an F. Let him come in, like call it halfway. Still ask him to come in reasonably soft. But now he's going to understand, oh, this crescendo going, come in the crescendo, just blend in, because I don't want him to tongue to that. Blend in and help make the crescendo nice and big. Okay, now I said this needs help. Well, 9 doesn't need any help, but movement there, that idea did not come through. That's where you don't have strings. So let's teach you how to do this. I'm going to just copy the idea and then play around with it. Okay, let's go to clarinet 1 for the sake of the exercise. Look carefully what I'm doing. I don't want them to be a surprise. They're all of them, so that's what I'm doing. Now I have a big bunch of guys coming in on a similar volume. The actual pitch, so you can always check your ranges. I want more brassy sound, so not particular, we're not playing just yet. I want these actions to have better hits. So go with my gut feel. That is alpha. Okay, so the way I understand Dorico, this counts as one player the way I put it in. So when we go to the print part, let's show you xylophone. Now you can show it as vibraphone and xylophone. So this is a nice thing that Dorico has that Finale didn't have. Well done, Dorico. I love this. That I can do this now. Again, if I don't tell the xylophone play anything, he's probably going to use just like hard sticks on this. So it's not a problem here. I'm not going to put accents on this. I already put fortissimo. I mean, the difference between a fortissimo and an accent is just the next level. Not necessary. So let's just test this. If I go to, yeah, it says vibraphone at the beginning and then it says xylophone. I love it. Nice, Dorico. I love it. So one player playing two instruments and you can treat both. Okay, so I must figure out what to do in that empty part in the beginning still. Just want to see a little bit more of the score. Apologies if this is too small. I just want to follow what's happening here. I'm going to go from the top. The bass missing, that same kind of figure. So let's put it in the same place. Chances are it already solved the problem. I need an extra heat. Let's zoom in there. This is what I want to do. I want to do something a little bit mysterious. You're listening to this piece, and if the conductor didn't announce what he's playing, you must know this is going to be amazing grace. But you want to give hints of things to come, and you want to set the mood. Of course, what are we singing about? We're singing about the amazing grace of the mighty God, the Almighty. Kind of set that mood. Percussion is the secret spice to everything. So I'm going to go from the top and just want to There's a symbol. I wanted a symbol that sounds like. So I'm gonna really randomly dynamic. I'm talking extremely soft. Just bring it in and bring it down back to. I just want to see because for a band, I'm gonna tell it to use because you can hear it's hard mallets and one soft mallets. Yeah, like I want to show that this must ring. Okay, it took me a while to figure out in Dorico how to do this. Unless I vibrate, it's just glittering. I wanted to show, and it's always important when you work with the clutch cymbals, any cymbals really, especially in an orchestra setup. I'm not talking about the drum. If you show clutch cymbals, you let it ring, then it will let it ring. If you don't do that, technically it's going to go to shit for the duration of the note, let it ring and then stop it. So I always want to make sure that there's no confusion. If I did not do this, yeah, definitely 50% chance the percussion would have understood. There's still things that must happen here that's not strong enough. I fear not all the winds together are strong enough for this. I may have to do something else. I'm gonna take out first and second trombone. Just want to hear how bad I missed him. Okay, this will solve the problem. I need to rewrite that part. I must just rewrite this part. It's a little bit different from the top. Okay, it's just here. Clearly, with all that brass going on there, it needs more help to make it work. And the harmonies are a problem. I think it's too. I put in harmonies. I wanted the chords to move, but the chord is already there, and now they're playing different notes, and it's not coming through strong enough. So, rule one: stick with it. One idea, stick with it. So I'm going to use this idea now. So this will now fall away over there. So these guys are going to, for the sake of this, so what are we doing? Now it's exactly the same note for all these guys. I actually, because it's lower and I don't want to change the octaves, okay, I'll get away with saxes, but this guy is just gonna. Yeah, now I can hear the idea. The high reeds are too high for me. So I'm going to take the alto saxes out of this. Check now what I'm doing here. Trick of the trade. Because of the harmonic series, which is important, this sounds too high. So I'm dropping the first part. Can't drop all of it because it gets too low. But you see what I'm doing? It's the same notes. Just going to do it in a different octave. Clearly not clarinets. Clearly not clarinets now. It's just. Okay, so now the clarinets have a different job, which we will figure out now. Is this strong enough now, I think? I think not. Powerful bass trombone coming help us here. That's what we were going for. Just listening from the top. Do you hear what I hear? What will that be? Yeah. Now, if I had an orchestra, this would not be a flute. This would be a high first violin player, first violin section, maybe half discs. Oh, I see. It's just going to be tricky again. That'll do it. Yeah, that's a bit long now. Okay, so we have 3 bars to go in the intro. A flat concept, just B flat. I'm not putting the 13. I think we're going to start to move this. I'm not going to write that just yet. Okay, there's definitely a big drop in volume here. I'm going to go with my gut. I just want to hear if I'm on the right track. Because I sort of work as a... Okay, what is to come in the next video? It's all little themes that you keep all the way through, otherwise it sounds like 2 pieces. Okay, now by doing it this way, I need a little bit more percussion. Exactly the same dynamics, a little bit of a change in color. It's like when you do a scenery and